Yo, what is going on, everybody? Shri Kanase here. So how to automate your Shopify store. Now, I personally believe that the best ways to achieve success with the Shopify dropshipping is through automation. Unfortunately, a lot of the Shopify store owners often quit well before reaching this point of time. But if you're already at a stage where you're thinking about automating, or you're one of those bold people who just started with Shopify but is already wanting to start automating some of the tasks, this video is for you, because not only am I going to tell you whether it's the right time to be automating your Shopify store or not, but I'm also going to be giving you certain tips and tricks as to how to automate, where to begin, and what kind of websites to use. Because in reality, automation is one of the riskiest things that you can do for your business, because end up hiring the wrong person and your entire business will suffer tremendously. It could even potentially close down. So when it comes to automation, you want to always proceed with your own risk. Do a lot of research before deciding on any type of individual you want to hire. But without wasting any more time, let's just jump right into it and figure out how to automate your Shopify store. So the first thing you'll have to do in order to really begin your automation journey is to just gently destroy that like button down below. It'll take just 2 quick seconds. Okay, hopefully you've done that. But before talking about how to automate, it's important to talk about when is it the right time to start automating. Believe it or not, there is a right and wrong time when it comes to automation, but it is going to depend on your current situation, experience, and a lot of the other things which I'll be mentioning very shortly. One thing you want to understand is really there is no such thing as a right time to start automation. It all depends on where you personally feel you are within your e-commerce journey. So here are a few things I personally look at before even deciding whether I should begin my automation process for any kind of new Shopify store. So the first thing is budget. Do I really have the budget to start automating? This is one of the most important questions you want to start asking yourself before you even begin automating, because without a right budget, you're going to run out of money very, very soon, especially if you're just starting a brand new Shopify store, or if you have a Shopify store that's already running but not getting you the desired results. If you don't have a budget, you'll only be able to pay your employees for so long, and having to let go of employees simply because you can't afford to do it not only makes you feel bad, but is also not good for your business, because you just may have spent all of that money you could have used rather to just grow the business and do some of the tasks yourself rather than having it automated. So a budget plays a very, very important role when it comes to deciding whether it is the right time or not. But number two, time. Now this depends on how much time you personally have to give to your Shopify store. Of course, if you already do a full-time job, then you have very little of time. That means you may want to kind of proceed with the automation. However, if all that you do is Shopify dropshipping, then you have a lot of time on your hands. You really don't have to start automating right away. If you already have a Shopify store that's running successfully, then you want to start automation in that case. But if you lack time, it may be a good idea to start looking into automating your Shopify store. But the third thing is the income of the business as a whole. Now, again, if you already have external income from your job or your savings that you want to invest, by all means, this does not apply to you. But if you're solely relying on your Shopify dropshipping store's income to hire somebody and to automate your Shopify store, you need to be sure that your Shopify store is at that level where you can actually think about automating. Because if you haven't even reached that stage where it is possible for you to automate at a profitable rate, then it is going to be very difficult to sustain your Shopify dropshipping business for a long period of time. So always make sure that if you're looking to depend on your business income, that you have enough coming in, and after you pay off your employees, you have some remaining so that you can put it inside your pockets, because nobody wants to run a business that is just at break even. But the fourth and most important thing you absolutely want to think about is, what is your future goal with the business? Do you want to scale this business to $1 million a month, or are you fine just getting a few $1,000s per month because that is at your comfort level? In that case, for either of those scenarios, you're going to want to be applying a different strategy, because obviously somebody wanting to scale their Shopify store needs to automate their store and hire a bunch of people if they want to reach $1 million a month. On the other hand, if they just want to do $2,000, $3,000, $5,000 a month just to add a little bit of extra income, maybe they won't be getting as many orders, so maybe they won't have much trouble handling all of the things that they have to do within the business. So the overall goal really makes a difference as to whether you should be thinking about automating or not. But once you've kind of identified where you stand with all of these four things, then it comes to actually applying the strategy. So exactly how should you go about doing the automation? First things first, you should always start your automation journey by first doing the product sourcing. You want to fully automate your product sourcing from a reliable supplier, whether it is CJ Dropshipping or something similar to CJ Dropshipping like Weo or any of the other softwares, or if you use a private agent. Make sure to get that automated. Make sure to have one agent or one platform where you're sourcing majority of your products from, because it makes it extremely easy to go about the automation process. In fact, I recommend you do this before even hiring anybody else, like for customer service or the other tasks, which I'll be mentioning very soon. Because if you don't have the product sourcing in place, it is going to be difficult for you to handle product sourcing and product ordering, along with handling the new employee that you just added. Because when you start adding new people to your team, you also have to take care of them, you have to handle them, and you have to look after them and what they're doing. And it will become extremely hard if all you're focusing on is the product sourcing and doing the ordering. So make sure to have product sourcing in place, because if you don't have the proper products getting shipped out, it is going to cause a lot of problems down the line. But once you've kind of figured out the product sourcing issue, next comes hiring somebody for customer service. Now, I recommend that you start using Upwork or onlinejobs.ph mostly to do your hiring for all of the tasks, which I'll be mentioning very soon. And the tasks mentioned here are in the order that I would personally start hiring from. So for instance, in this case, customer service is the first thing I would outsource before moving on to the second thing. But when it comes to customer service, here's exactly what you want to be looking into automating so that you have more time to do other things within your business. The first thing is emails. You want to teach your customer service VA how to properly handle the emails so that they can properly provide customer support to your customers. And this is one of the most important things, because your customer service VA will be the face of your business. They'll be in direct contact with the most important people for your business, which is your customers. So it's really important that you spend a large portion of your time making sure that you're hiring the right person for this task. In addition, if you offer any type of phone support via Google Voice where you only take text messages, you want this VA answering your text messages from Google Voice as well. And of course, you'll have to create some automated responses for your customer service VA. If you need more info on how to create these automated responses, let me know down in the comment section. I can give you more guidance on that. But along with that, I normally like to teach my customer service VA some basic bookkeeping, because every time I place orders on AliExpress or through my private supplier and provide the details for the cost of the goods, I want my customer service VA to be able to just copy and paste that data onto order metrics or a special spreadsheet, because I want to start lowering my tasks, which are repetitive, and basic bookkeeping is one of those tasks I like to normally outsource to my customer service VA. But once you have kind of outsourced those things, it's time to move on to the next thing, and that is having an order fulfiller. Now, if you order all of your products from a private agent via CSV files or from CJ Dropshipping or something similar, you really don't need an order fulfiller. But if you still order majority of your products from AliExpress, then you definitely want to get an order fulfiller, because this is one of the most repetitive tasks within your business, and you want to be spending this time that you put into ordering products into doing other things within your business. But this order fulfiller does the following. They do the ordering of the products, whether it's on AliExpress, or they also send CSV files to the suppliers if I'm doing both AliExpress as well as private suppliers. In addition, once my supplier or once my AliExpress product links have been updated with the tracking numbers, it is this order fulfiller's responsibility to then go ahead and sync all of the order data and make sure the tracking numbers are properly sent to the customers. This is again one of the most important things, because your customers are most likely waiting for their tracking numbers. But this is one of the easier tasks to outsource, because it doesn't take a lot of effort to teach somebody how to do the ordering or sending the CSV files. Things kind of get a little bit rough from here onwards. So the third thing that I like to outsource is the product description uploader or the description writer himself or herself. So when it comes to specifically description writing, I like to have this outsourced later on when I'm starting to make more money and I really want to spend my time doing maybe the advertising. But because what this person will be doing is basically researching the products and or adding them to the Shopify store with proper description. So as you can see, it's a very, very important task. Literally almost all of your success with Shopify will depend on this person once they start doing this task. But keep in mind that it is your responsibility to provide them with proper instructions on how to do this task properly, because otherwise they're going to mess up. They're not going to do it as well as you do, and then this could again lead to the destruction of your Shopify business. So you can either start off by just outsourcing the product uploader, meaning the person who finds the products, and then later on hire somebody else to do the product description writing and make them work one-on-one with the product uploader. I normally like to make sure that my product description writer has some sort of SEO research techniques, because I mostly use Google Ads for my general store, and SEO techniques are very important when it comes to finding success with Google Ads. But this brings me to my next position, which you should then look into outsourcing once this is all done, and that is outsourcing your social media management. Now, I personally like to add a social media manager to my team who will basically be posting on all social media channels on a regular basis. I want to keep my store up and active on these social media channels because I want to build a great presence on these social media platforms. And the social media manager, all they'll be doing is just posting 2 to 3 times a day, maybe more depending on how much you want, on Instagram, Facebook, etc., wherever you have a social media presence, and that's all they'll be doing every single day. But again, as you can see, this is not one of the most important tasks, which is why it is so far off in my list. But once you have kind of outsourced the social media management, next comes the email marketing agency. Now, you can normally outsource this to just an individual rather than a whole agency, or you can just choose to give it to a big agency. But email writers are very important because they add a lot of extra revenue to your overall store. Now, what the individual or the agency will be doing within this section is basically offering weekly promotional emails to your customers, maybe writing story-based emails as well, and they'll be playing around with your automated email flows and trying to fix them up, because those automated email flows are extremely important when it comes to emails. Those are also what keep the business running. So it'll be their task to kind of play around with that, and you really don't have to teach them how to do this because majority of the email writers or email agencies are very experienced with this. But this is the last on my list because you should have all of the other positions outsourced before you even think about emails. Until then, you should be handling your own emails. But now that we've kind of talked about exactly what should you outsource, what about the things that you should not be outsourcing? And there are a few positions which you should definitely not outsource. The first position is the website optimizations, or basically a website optimizer who does all of the conversion rate optimizations. I do not outsource this because only I know what kind of changes I've done on the website from the beginning. Only I have a real good idea of my audience because I've been dealing with my store since the beginning. A website optimizer who's new to your team will really not know about all of the small details which kind of drive your customers to action and even who your customers are in the first place. So I personally believe it is a little bit of risky to outsource the website optimizations to somebody else, and I personally like to do this myself because I know what kind of optimizations I did and what worked and what didn't in the past. But along with that, I also do not like to outsource marketing as a whole because in my experience, the advertising agencies out there who claim to increase sales for a lot of their clients often don't end up reaching their promises. And this is really not their fault because they're dealing with hundreds of different clients and they have to deal with hundreds of different ad accounts. So they're obviously not going to treat your ad account as if it's their personal own ad account, simply because it's your ad account, not theirs. So I personally believe that only I would be able to put in that extra effort needed to make sure I'm hitting my sales targets via marketing the right way. So that is why I really do not like outsourcing marketing. But this brings me to my third point, and that is outsourcing full accounting or taxes calculations. Now again, this is a little bit risky to outsource completely to somebody else because only you know your real numbers and only you know what kind of tax rules are run within your state or country. Unless you're outsourcing a real agency that operates locally, it may be a little bit risky to have somebody online do this for you because they could easily mess up a lot of the things and this could cost you a lot of money in the long run. So I like to kind of keep this for the professional team, specifically those people who actually have studied this kind of stuff before and know what they're doing, rather than just going online and hiring somebody to do this. But this is kind of exactly how you automate your Shopify store. If you found any type of value in this video, smash that like button and smash that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys next time.